So now let's listen to these people. And that might be a stretch, but let's listen to what these people had to say. At the beginning, we were too fired up to think. Later on, we were too used to it. In our condition, it meant nothing to us to think we were busy cutting our neighbors down to the last one. It became a goes without saying. They had already stopped being good neighbors of long standing, the ones who handed around the Urwaga can at the cabaret. Urwaga's like a beer, it's a banana beer. Since they wouldn't be there anymore. They had become people to throw away, so to speak. They were no longer what they had been, and neither were we. They did not bother us, and the past did not bother us, because nothing bothered us. And so the Tutsis were driven immediately. They tried to escape to this area that they called the marshes, which are outside, the hills. The people lived in the hills, and they tried to escape the The Tutsis tried to escape to the marshes. And another one of the murderers says, kindness too was forbidden in the marshes. The marshes left no room for exceptions. To forget doubt, we had meanness and ruthlessness in killing. And a job to do and do well, that's all. Some changed color from the hunting. Their limbs were muddy, their clothes were splattered, even their faces were not black in the same way. They became grayish from everything they had done. A little layer of stink covered us too, but we didn't care. We no longer saw a human being when we turned up a Tutsi in the swamps. I mean, a person like us, sharing similar thoughts and feelings. The hunt was savage. The hunters were savage. The prey was savage. Savagery took over the mind. The more we killed, the more greediness urged us on. Greediness, if left unpunished, it never lets you go. You could see it in our eyes, bugged out by the killings. It was even dangersome. There were those that came back in the blood-stained shirts, brandishing their machetes, shrieking like madmen, saying they wanted to grab everything. We had to calm them down with drinks and soothing words, because they could turn ugly for those around them. Man can get used to killing if he kills on and on. He can even become a beast without noticing it. Some threatened one another when they had no more Tutsis under the machete. In their faces, you could see the need to kill. Me, I was not scared of death. In a way, I forgot I was killing live people. I no longer thought about either life or death. But the blood struck terror into me. It stank and dripped. At night I'd tell myself, after all, I am a man full of blood. All this spurting blood will bring me catastrophe, a curse. Death did not alarm me, but that overflow of blood, that, yes, a lot. And one of the things that they talk about in the book is in this part of the continent. The people, they use a machete for everything. So they cut down brush with it, they slaughter the animals with it, they cook their dinners with it, they do everything with a machete. So everybody's just sort of it's their iPhone. Right? It's their iPhone. Everyone has, it's their smartphone. That's what they use for everything, like we do in America. We use a smartphone. They use a machete for everything. That's how they get their food. That's how they clear out their house. It's how they build. I mean, it's everything they do with a machete. So everyone's very comfortable with a machete. A boy with the strength in his arms to hold the machete firmly, if his brother or father brought him along in the group, he imitated and grew used to killing. Youth no longer hampered him. He became accustomed to blood. Killing became an ordinary activity since our elders and everyone did it. Or a young boy might even prove more at ease with it than an experienced oldster, because death touched him farther away. Given the novelty of the circumstances and his young age, death seemed less important to him. He saw it as belonging to an older generation. He shrugged off his perils and considered it a distraction. It became a madness that went on all by itself. You raced ahead or you got out of the way to escape being run over, but you followed the crowd. The one who rushed off machete in hand, he listened to nothing anymore. He forgot everything. First of all, his level of intelligence. Doing the same thing every day meant we didn't have to think about what we were doing. We went out and came back without having a single thought. We hunted because it was the order of the day until the day was over. Our arms ruled our heads. In any case, our heads no longer had their say. We became more and more cruel, more and more calm, more and more bloody. But we did not see that we were becoming more and more killers. The more we cut, the more cutting became child's play to us. For a few, it turned into treat, if I may say so. That's one of the things they do, is they use some words like cut, and what they mean is slaughter and murder, but they use kind of a term that's less direct as a euphemism. At the start of the killings, we worked fast and skimmed along because we were eager. In the middle of the killings, we killed casually. We killed to keep the job going. Some were tired of these blood assignments. Others amused themselves by torturing Tutsis, who had made them sweat day after day. Since I was killing often, I began to feel it did not mean anything to me. It gave me no pleasure. I knew I would not be punished. I was killing without consequences. I adapted without a problem. I left every morning free and easy, in a hurry to get going. I saw that the work and the results were good for me. That's all. During the killings, I no longer considered anything in particular in the Tutsi except that the person had to be done away with. I want to make it clear that from the first gentleman I killed to the last, I was not sorry about a single one.